Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, 90 and 90, or good afternoon your time. I am not with the amazing Andrea today. I'm with the amazing Amanda. Andrea is out of the country with her incredible husband on a business/work retreat for his company, and Amanda's kind enough to join in. So, Amanda, what's your background?
I've been on the team for 2 years.
Okay, how long have you been a real estate?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Previous to that, I was a master stylist and barber.
Okay.
So managed a big book of clientele and made the switch to real estate.
So out of our team of 10, why are you sitting here?
Because I sold the most amount of houses and everyone on a team in 2019 for our company.
Yeah, so not just our team, but actually we have a market center of better part of 300 agents with probably 25. We're very team heavy here. And you were the #1 team member in the market center. How many units was that?
60.
Good job.
Thanks.
2 years in the industry, 60 units closed in your second year. What's your goal this year?
100.
And how many 90s and 90s have you gone through with us in those 2 years?
Probably a dozen.
Yeah, different versions. We do 30. We're in a 30 and 30 right now. As of yesterday, we're back on track to hit our goal.
Yep, awesome.
We were behind. We had a great weekend. And I'm going to get a picture of you because I'm just so proud and thankful for you.
Great,
Amanda's done 3 of these with me this week. All right, let's move to the slides and add some value today.
All right.
Thank you. All right, so we're in week number 5. The first week was launch. And so the purpose of launch was, hey, let's get our foundation built. Let's get our habits in place. Let's set our goal. Let's get our time blocking. So knowing we're in week 5, many of you should be approaching your 30-day goal right now. In other words, you're 30 days into your 90-day challenge. So we're going to revisit that. We're going to talk about some additional new sources of business. And we're also going to talk about iBuyers, which we know is not in your market yet and probably will be pretty soon. You're just clicking away there.
Yep, sorry, got it.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
All right, so quick recap of last week is utilizing the pre-qualification sheet. That's the pink sheet we went over.
Yep.
Absolute game changer. Just please, pretty please, like use that on every single listing appointment. Re-listen to that call. It's Amanda. Right. It's really cool having you here because you're in production. Your goal is 100 units this year. Would you go on a listing appointment without a pink sheet?
Never.
Would you even know what to say without it with the way we train in our team?
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would have no clue.
Well,
that's exactly why I do a pre-qualification sheet, is so that I know every single time what I'm stepping into and how I can specifically gear my listing presentation to the specific seller.
Awesome. It's just a great habit, and it helps somebody like Amanda, just 2 years in the business, sell 60 properties because she is able and often is competing against some of the most successful agents in our multiple listing, and she goes in organized with that pink sheet and she dominates and wins.
I do.
Number 2, become local economist of choice. You guys have some amazing numbers there. You have some of the best numbers I've actually ever seen in the country of your pending ratios, etc. So internalize those and practice the scripts we presented last week. Practice your listing presentation. Again, I get to go back to Amanda. 2 years on the team. How long did I make you practice your listing presentation for?
I've probably practiced it 1,000 times.
Okay. And so are you still doing that as consistently today as you were the first year?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, why not?
Because when I practiced so much. I practiced probably 3 to 5 days a week for hours at a time with Drew or Aubrey or someone on the team. Other team members. Or in the event they weren't available, I used a chair. I did it on my hour-long commute in the morning when I head into the office.
Nice. So you commute an hour each day.
I do. Yeah.
Good. And well, not good. We're trying to change that. Amanda's been in the industry 2 years, and she'll qualify, as we know, for being self-employed, for a loan. Now, with this new tax year, and you're going to buy another house closer in.
Correct.
What do you do with your first house?
Turn it into an investment property.
Good job. So you use that hour-long commute and you practice. You were often practicing your presentation.
I was.
Yeah, so it's just a big pillar of how did you go from being a master hairstylist to being the #1 agent in Keller Williams Sunset Corridor and one of the top agents in the entire state with 60 closings in 2 years? Practice.
Absolutely.
Pre-approval. Good. All right. Now, most importantly, we're 30 days in. So it says, did you hit your weekly goal? And I'll ask, did you hit your monthly goal? And we'll talk more on that as the call progresses. Next up is one of my hands down favorite strategies. For many of you, you haven't seen this before. It's a deadly script. It's an incredible way to get into listing business with zero or very limited competition. So RentBo, we know what a FSBO is. That's somebody selling their house themselves.
Correct.
Right? We're very clear on what a FSBO is. What's a RentBo, Amanda?
A RentBo is a for rent by owner, essentially.
Okay, what does that mean? For rent by owner. Break that down.
That is a landlord who is trying to rent their investment property by themselves.
Got it. So they own an investment property. Rather than hiring a property manager or hiring somebody to professionally rent it for them, they're renting it themselves.
They are.
So they're a rent bo.
Yeah.
Why would we possibly call an investor renting his or her house themselves?
They could be interested in selling or buying.
Okay, so they could be interested in selling it. Why would a landlord consider selling the property they're renting?
Maybe they're fed up with their tenants. Maybe they're wrecking the place. Maybe they're not paying rent on time. Maybe they're just tired of getting no-showed for showings for potential new tenants.
Oh, so they get no-shows like we occasionally get with buyers we don't know?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so in other words, we reach out to this group and right, their renter moved out, they trashed it, they just replaced all the carpet, and they do painting, and they're standing there waiting for a prospective renter to come through, and that renter no-shows them. And then we happen to call saying, hey, would you mind selling? Would you like to sell? Like, you're in a hot market, we have low inventory. There's a group of them if you catch at the right moment, and they'll say,
sure, I'm ready.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then of course that same person is a qualified investor. I actually love, like, it's a weird stalking thing I have, the real estate chat forums.
Yeah.
There's so many great ones. There's like next level agents and there's lab coat agents, and there's of course an abundance in KW. And sometimes people get on there and I'll see newer agents get slayed when they're like, hey, I'm working with a new investor. What advice would you give me? And they get slayed because it's like, agents have been doing business for a long period of time know that a lot of times people aren't actually investors. But a different way to phrase this, I'm working with someone who wants to be an investor. And what we find is that group maybe went to a seminar on how to buy homes with zero money down, and it's a mess.
Yeah, they're dreamers.
What I love about rent bos is they own a property. They literally own it, and they're trying to rent it out as an investor. So they're proven. So although this is a listing class, rent bos are an incredible way to build a big buyer business as well. All right, so what is a rent bos? Are renting the property themselves? Why call them? Maybe they're fed up with owning it, and they'll sell it in the hot market that you guys are in, and you are in an incredibly hot market. How do you find them?
Well, they want to be found.
What do you mean?
They likely have a sign up. They have an ad online, maybe flyers, has their phone number, their email address, their name. They want to be contacted.
So in other words, they've got advertisement up in their community or on the web saying, hey, I'm renting my property, contact me.
Exactly.
So there's no excuse not to find them.
I agree.
Right, well, I'm sharing with them. So they've got Zillow is what they could be on. They could be on Craigslist. They could be in local print publications. They could have signs in their yards. They're not challenging to find if we time block every day a few minutes to look for them. Okay, let's go over the script. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Amanda?
This is she.
Hey, Amanda, this is Craig Rieger. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling because I saw your property for rent on Craigslist, the condo over on Main Street. Have you rented that property?
I have not.
Awesome. Well, hey, the reason I'm calling is your market is red hot right now. In fact, there's about a 97% pending ratio, meaning for every 10 homes that go on the market, 9 of them have already got accepted off with buyers. By the way, out of script, many of your markets right now under 250, that's your pending ratio. The market's incredibly hot. If I could get you multiple offers and potentially get you even like above a list price, like it's that hot, would you consider selling instead of renting?
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Well, I have rentals as well. Clearly, you're a savvy investor. My team and I are looking for great investment properties every single day. If we find any really good deals that would make great rentals, would you consider adding to your portfolio?
Sure.
So that's what's so powerful about this script. Like, do you want to sell? And she says,
no.
And I say, well, clearly you're a savvy investor. Who doesn't want to be called savvy investor?
It makes you feel good.
I'm looking for great properties every day. If I find one, do you want to add to your portfolio?
Absolutely.
Great. So then I get more contact info from you, and I put you where?
In my database.
Awesome. So now when I find a property, right, you ever show a home to one of your buyers and they're like, I know it's a good deal, but it's not for me. Happens all the time. So now I've got, right, this is a group of proven investors. I can call it ring, ring. Hey, I just showed that new listing on Main Street. I think it's underpriced. I think it's a killer rental property. Do you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Right? We want to make lead gen easier. Although this is a listing class, so let's go through it again. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Amanda, this is Craig Rieger. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. I just saw your property for rent on Craigslist. And the reason I'm calling is your market is insanely hot. There's like zero inventory and there's abundance of buyers, which means as a seller, you can get a really, really great offer and often multiple offers. If I could bring you multiple offers for the property, would you sell instead of rent?
I'd think about it, yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I pop over? I'll take a quick run through and I'll share with you what I could get you in the market, how long that would take and what I would charge. That whole process will take me about 20 to 30 minutes. If it sounds good, we can move forward. And if not, I'll leave and you keep renting it.
Sounds great.
Good. What's better for you? What is it? Thursday, tomorrow at 1 or Saturday at 2?
Saturday at 2.
I'll see you then.
Great.
You have no competition with this script. The only competition is the rest of the group that's part of this phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Super powerful. All right, let's go to the next strategy. Well, we know what open houses are. Right, open houses, we do them all the time as agents. What's a for sale owner open house, Amanda?
It's an open house held by a for sale by owner where they've invited everyone on the planet to come to their home.
Yeah, they've literally just done their advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Zillow, Craigslist, print publications, social media. And they've said, hey, my home is open on Sunday from 1 to 4.
Yep.
And what I love about FSBOs, they do long opens.
Really long, like 10 to 2, 10 to 4.
Yeah, they do longer than we do because they're home. They're like, yeah, I'm going to be here anyway. Like, I'll be cleaning up, I'll be knitting, whatever it is they're doing. Like, I'm here. So I love FSBOs because often if it's an occupied home, they do a lot of opens and they do long opens.
Mm-hmm.
And they've invited the entire world over. Like, literally, hey, come over and tour my property without an appointment this Sunday from 10 to 2.
It's great.
So my strategy early on in my career was this strategy. This was my number one source of listing business. This is before I was at KW. It's before I was good with scripts. It's before I understood lead generation. I did this because of my own behavioral style, which is I was camping out at opens and I was going nuts because I considered it to be passive activity.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I didn't have the training to door knock before my open. I didn't have the training to put up 50 signs. I didn't know what a 7th level open house was. So I would just go and put up my 5 or 6 signs and I'd sit there and sometimes it was busy and sometimes it was not.
Yep, I agree.
And Amanda, I went nuts. And because I went nuts, just waiting for people to come through. And I'm like, well, and what was crazy, sometimes as I was driving in to hold my house open, I would drive by 1 or 2 for sale by owners that were holding their houses open. I'm like, well, I should be over there getting to know them because they've raised their hand. I want to sell my home. And I'm sitting here waiting for people to come through.
Yeah.
Like, maybe my time is better spent visiting those FSBOs who raise their hand, I want to sell my home. They haven't chosen an agent. Maybe I need to meet them. And so I very simply just started strategizing. My goal is to visit 10 per weekend. It's a lofty goal.
It's big. I
would schedule it like a buyer tour. And if we think of a buyer tour, we have an out-of-town buyer come to town, and it's not uncommon. We'll show them 10 houses over a day or a day and a half, right? It's very doable.
Very doable.
So I would just find 10 for sale by owners in the communities and zip codes that I wanted to focus getting listings in. And then just like a buyer tour, I'd be like, okay, I'll start here, and I'll go to that one. I'll go to that one. I'll go to that one. And my goal was to hit all 10. The cool part is I didn't schedule appointments, right? They advertise, your definition is they advertise to the world, my house is open, come on over.
Yeah, no appointment needed.
Yeah, so I was like, cool, right, I'm part of the world, you're advertising, come to my home Sunday from 10 to 2. So I just showed up. Mm-hmm. And that to me, I'm not, right, we can crush open houses. I could do an entire course on opens. And at the end of the day, well, I know you track everything. How many opens did you do last year for yourself, your clients?
48.
Good job. I think that's 4 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you hit your goal.
I did.
Did you have opens where 20, 30, 40 people came through?
Sometimes.
Did you have opens where 0 came through or 1?
Lots of times.
Yeah, me too. Right. So this was just my strategy, get in front of people that raise their hands. So I would just go and tour their property. And it was so fascinating because I'd pull up and I'd be in like my little realtor outfit, and I'd have I normally brought a packet of things like, I don't know, marketing materials or testimonials or contracts. And I have this packet in my hand, and you see him peering through the window like, this dude is not a buyer. And I'd go and I'd knock on the door and be like, hey, I saw your house was open and I'd love to come through. I didn't even have good scripts then. Mm-hmm. This is early in my career, and I built a massive business off this one platform. And I would be like, can I come in? And some of them just right in the spot were like, no, you're an agent. We don't like you. Go away. I'm like, and that was rare, but it did happen. I'm like, that's cool. Why was it cool if they told me to go away?
Because you have 9 additional ones booked for the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I booked 10, not 2.
Mm-hmm.
Others would invite me in. They're like, yeah, you can tour the home. If you have a buyer, you can bring them back over. But we're not listing with an agent. I'm like, okay. So I tour the home. And then lo and behold, I might like be in their garage and they've got a sage fly rod. And if you're a fly fisherman, you know exactly what a sage means. It's different, it's more elite, it's a special fly rod. That alone, before I got good at scripts, could create a bonding conversation.
Absolutely.
Or maybe they had 3 and 5-year-olds. And at the time I was doing this, I had 3 and 5-year-olds, and that created bonding. Like some of these folks I would just create a relationship with. Others, it was very clear that they were never going to hire me, and that was okay. It was really rare, Amanda. I made it to all 10. You know, it's throughout the day, like people are like, hey man, you want to have a beer and watch football and talk about selling my home? I'm like, yes, I do.
Sure thing.
And I'd sit on their couch and we'd talk about selling their home. Other times people just flat out said to me, this was rare and it happened, it's like, I'm so glad you're here. We're so fed up with this process. Your timing is really good. What can you do to sell my home?
That's great.
Other times it was more of a follow-up game, and I'd reach out to them the following Monday or Tuesday being like, hey, how did the rest of the open go? Did you sell the house? Would you be, my favorite script then, I guess the only script I had, is you have a plan A. Plan A is selling your house yourself. What is your plan B if plan A fails?
Ooh.
Plan A is selling yourself. What is your plan B if plan B fails, if plan A fails? And sometimes they had an answer. Sometimes like, I'd like to interview to be your plan B, right? Why don't we just knock that out now? Whether you're a month out from giving up or a day out, why don't I interview? And then potentially you'll know if plan A doesn't work, I'll be your plan B.
It's a great script.
Walk the house, find commonality, ask motivation. Like, what do you think one of the most common reasons that somebody goes, well, obviously to save commission. There's a group that hates agents. There just is. But what do you think one of the reasons why people who are motivated to sell and need to sell, but they'll try to force somebody under for a period of time? Give me some examples of why they do that.
They want to save money.
Yeah, that's the money part.
Maybe they've done it themselves before.
Yeah, but why are they going that direction? What are they doing next? What's next for them after they sell the home? Where are they going?
They've got maybe a new construction house to move to.
Bingo. I could not believe going through this process. We still work FSBOs very, very aggressively, less than this strategy, because the script I gave you, I think 2 weeks ago, was so deadly over the phone. That script is good. We actually did script practice on that today.
We did.
Yeah, our whole team did during script practice. Is that what I found so frequently is they have a home they have to sell. Or sorry, they have a home they're building. Right, we do a lot of new construction on our team, and so somebody starts at dirt. In our market, it's about 7 months from dirt to completed home move in.
Yep.
So they tie up this home in dirt, like, yeah, build me my dream home. They have 7 months before they have to actually close on that home and pull the money out of their current property. So I found so many FSBOs be like, I'll just try FSBO for 2 or 3 months on my own, and I'll cut out those dang realtors and save all that money. And then what happens if they're not successful on that path, as they're hitting 2, 3, 4 months from their new home being completed, they'll hire an agent.
Yep.
So frequently in these tours, I'm like, where are you guys going when you sell? And they would say,
oh, I'm building a house.
We'd also hear, my spouse has a job transfer and that's pending out for 60 days. A lot of FSBOs are A's, but their A motivation is 60 or 90 days out, which is why they're trying FSBO for a short period of time.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and as we covered on, I think it was call 3, there's another group, especially with technology now, they're just listing as FSBO because it's click, click, click. It's kind of like, I'll start a home improvement project, and like 3 trips into Home Depot that same morning, I'm like, I'm gonna have a professional finish this for me. There's another group of FSBOs that just list on Zillow or something so easily and quickly with today's technology and realize in 2 or 3 days they're gonna give up on the process. So that's why in call 3, I recommended we really attack FSBOs like the first day they list. This is a different strategy. This is visiting them at their open houses, building that relationship. This group is probably a little more committed to the FSBO process. Yet there's a group within this group that has a place they have to go. They have a house they're building. They have a job transfer pending. There's a divorce in the works, like real reasons they have to sell. But they've got some time to accomplish it, so they're just trying FSBO.
Yep.
And if we can build that relationship, if they're not successful on their own, our sign's gonna go in their yard. Yeah, this technique and REPBOs single-handedly could help any one of you get 10 listings a month.
That's amazing.
Well, it's amazing, and it's also, thank you, it's not easy.
No, it takes consistency and dedication.
Yeah, I mean, you do this every single day with our team. These same strategies, these same scripts, and it's not fun.
It's constant.
There's days that you totally strike out.
Yep.
There's days that you set 3, 4, 5 appointments. There's days you set appointments and they cancel. There's days you set appointments and the sellers are not motivated or won't pay us the commission we want. Like it's not easy.
No.
Yeah, I look at you, 2 years in the industry, 60 closings, more than doubled your income from a hairstylist, way more than doubled it.
Way more.
And it's because of these scripts and the consistency you put forth.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, let's talk iBuyers for a few minutes. It was interesting for Andrew and I. Were teaching this about 3 months ago for a group of market centers, a group of Keller Williams market centers in Utah. And as I was working with leadership, they're like, we don't have iBuyers in our market. And then we hit call 5, which we're on today. And the leadership jumped on and started talking. They're like, Craig, iBuyers launched in our market. Zillow launched in our market yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's if this is not in your market, ladies and gentlemen, it is coming. Mm-hmm. So let's start with Keller Williams. Well, why don't we just start with iBuyers in general? Is that iBuyers? What's an iBuyer in your mind, Amanda?
It's an institutional cash buyer that will buy properties for cash.
Okay, and what's the positive to a seller for this type of iBuyer? Why would a seller consider this?
Because it's easy.
What do you mean? What's easy mean?
The institutional buyer will write an offer sight unseen, and you'll get it within 48 hours. Within 48 hours, you'll get a cash offer for your house.
Sight unseen. No showings, no staging, no sign in the yard,
nothing.
No open houses. Like, here's an offer.
Yep. Awesome.
What's the negative of an iBuyer?
It's low. It's going to be a low offer.
It's going to be a low offer, and on top of it, there's a bunch of boilerplated fees on top.
Yep.
So, right, we're going to offer 20, 30, 50,000 under what all of you could get for your clients. And on top of it, they've got their own fees.
They do.
Which are 6, 7, 8, 9% from my experience.
Yeah.
So the positive, super easy, no showings, no open houses. The negative is it's at a very substantial price discount.
Yep,
okay.
Exactly.
That's what iBuyer is. Keller Williams, Gary Keller to be specific, clearly thinks that there's a portion of the market that is ready for iBuyers, and you'll see at the bottom of this slide is current markets that KW is offering their own iBuyer platform in. I think he actually rolled this out a year ago this week at Family Reunion last year.
Yeah.
I think we've had it about a year. Here's how Keller Williams explains it. Well, they talked about it in February last year, launched it in May of last year. Unlike other iBuyer experiences, what Keller offers consumers have a fiduciary, a Keller Williams real estate agent serving them as a trusted advocate and working in their best interest while selling their home. While we believe the addressable market for iBuyers represents less than 10%, so this is Gary's words, represents less than 10% of the overall market, we do see this as an important addition for agents at KW. 10% is significant. I mean, if we're going to sell 200 homes this year, that means that 20 of those would, in Gary's own words, we have I heard this morning actually, we have now 9 iBuyers in our market.
Wow.
So 20 of our closings of our 200 could very likely, or according to Gary, be iBuyer closings. Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Why did Gary enter iBuyer? To support and protect both the consumer and the agents while minimizing cost. Cool. So we're going to share with you, iBuyers will be in your market. This will be a strategy. We're going to share with you some strategies of how to get listings from it and how to take it to your advantage. So we already talked about what an instant buyer is. Some of the big instant buyers out there, Open Door, Redfin's doing this in our market now, Seattle as well, OfferPad, Realogy, Zillow is in our market as of the last 6 months. Keller Williams, of course, has their platform. I heard EXP has a platform. If you're in Phoenix, Arizona, you've got over 30 of these platforms right now.
A lot of them.
Yeah, it's a tremendous amount. So let's go to the next slide and actually talk about how do we use this to our advantage when it comes to your market. So, Amanda, if you've got a listing appointment this afternoon, how could you use iBuyers to your advantage heading to that listing appointment?
I could bring one of their offers with me to the appointment, have it in my hand when I show up. It's really going to set me apart.
Okay, so you're in a competitive listing situation.
Yep.
It's 5 o'clock tonight, and you roll in with 1 or 2 offers that you're bringing them on their home. Yeah, it's like, hi, I'm here to interview to sell your home. Before we get started, I just want to let you know I've already brought you 2 written offers.
Yeah, who does that? Like, no one else is going to do that.
Well, in Phoenix, Arizona, 98% of the agents do it. In Portland, Oregon, because all of our agents are still complaining, right? Our market, not our agents, is complaining like, I hate iBuyers. They're the enemy. Like, they're da-da-da-da-da. They make crappy offers. And they'll only pay me a 1% commission. Like, they're complaining about the iBuyers. And so other agents are not bringing these.
Nope.
You're bringing them.
Yeah.
So your sellers, your potential sellers are like, hey, wow, look at you. I'm just interviewing you and you got me 2 offers.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And then, of course, you're going to share with them, like, these are really low offers. The only reason to even consider these is if you just want out of here like tomorrow. But there are offers, they're real, and they'll close.
Yeah, they will.
Now, let me share with you what happens if you hire me and I do all my marketing, all of my negotiating, all of my resources, and how much more money I can get you. And what we'll share with the prospective sellers, what are they trading by going with us? They're trading time and inconvenience. Ooh, inconvenience?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they really are time. The iBuyer will close in 7 days and give you time to move out. So we know that's fast.
Yep, very fast.
We had a house at the market on Friday, and we had multiple offers by Friday night and sold at $20,000 above asking. That was fast.
That was really fast.
It's not cash though. So we have a 38-day closing. We've got inspections. We have appraisals. I know the house is going to have inspection issues. So does my seller, by the way. So there's still a time factor, even though we sold it in 1 day, to get it closed. So when I say it's time, when you work with us, it's going to take longer to get through the process. It may take, we're not going to sell all homes in 1 day. So there's a time factor that you're going to have to deal with for me to get you more money. Number 2 is inconvenience. I'm going to have showings. I'm going to have open houses. I'm going to have appraisers coming through. I'm going to have home inspectors coming through. None of those things happen with the iBuyers.
None of them.
So what you're trading, and by the way, my job is as your agent is to make all those things as enjoyable and stress-free as possible. At the end of the day, if it's an occupied home, getting your kids out, getting your dogs out, making the bed is never fun.
It's hard.
So you're going to trade time and inconvenience for me to make you more money. And by Gary Keller stats, 90% of our clients are like, yeah, Craig, I'll trade time and inconvenience to have your services. And then the other 10% say, based on what's going on, I just want to sell my property. I'll take that low offer.
They just want to be done.
I'm like, are you sure? I know I can get you more. It's like, no. We have one of our good clients, Mandy McGrath. I've sold her like 10 homes. I've sold her parents' homes. I've sold her cousin homes. Like, we've been entrenched in this family for 20 years. My wife grew up with them. We had 3 transactions with her in fall. She sold her dream home for $600,000. Bought her previous dream home. Bought her new dream home on 5 acres for $900,000. And she had a little house that had a renter in it, and she needed to sell that as well. So she had to sell her dream home, that $600,000 home, and the little rental home, she accepted the iBuyer. And I was like, Mandy, I can get you $30,000 more. And she's like, no, I literally, I've got multiple payments going. Just get that thing. I'll take the iBuyer. Okay.
Done.
But then we went full service on hers, and for some people just works. All right, what's another strategy of how we can use iBuyers to build our business?
I could bring my stagnant listings that I have sitting to the iBuyers and get my sellers a cash offer and see if they'd accept it.
So even in the hot market, you are all in. Some of you have stagnant listings. They've just been sitting around.
Yep.
So we did that as well when iBuyers entered our market. Is we submitted offers on our own listings.
Yeah.
And what was crazy is we had a couple people accept. These, by the way, these were listings where like, Amanda, you got to lower your price.
No.
Amanda, like, we've literally been in the market 60 days. I've had 42 showings. I've done 18 open houses. No one wants to buy your home. Lower your price.
I don't want to.
Really, like 10 or 15,000. I'm confident we'll get your home sold.
Nope, no way.
And then I brought you an iBuyer offer at 40,000 under my current price, and you said,
I'll take it.
Like, why would you take that? I can get you 20,000 more than that. And what we found is a group of our stagnant listings didn't want to lower their price and have the unknowing if they'd have to lower it again or would buyers beat them up. And when they got this definite offer of like, hey, I'll close in a week and it's not a pretty price, but you'll be done with this and get to move on. We had a group, again, about 10% of our stagnant listings said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Check out the iBuyer Hub on Facebook, iBuyer Hub. That is being run by Mr. Kenny Klaus, who will probably be on stage this upcoming week with Gary. He always is. Kenny's out of Phoenix again, which was the epicenter of the iBuyers happening. The iBuyer Hub it's free. It's on Facebook. Tremendous value, and Kenny is constantly posting in the ever-evolving world of iBuyers. So we know it's not necessarily prevalent in your market now, and no doubt it's part of the world we're living in. So this is a fast forward of as it enters your market, how could you use it to your advantage? Or maybe you've got some cash buyers that you're working with. You could call them iBuyers, and you can send out that same mailer to your sphere, because we sent out a mailer to our sphere. What happened with that?
We had about a dozen responses.
We did. We literally just sent out to our database, and it was like, hey guys, we've got some cash buyers. We didn't even call them iBuyers. Nobody knew what that was in Portland. We've got some cash buyers that can give you cash on your home immediately. Let us know if you're interested. And how many people responded to that first mailer?
About 12.
Okay, now the 12, what happened? Do you remember about the numbers?
Like 1 accepted the iBuyer offer.
Yeah.
4 ended up listing with us in the next 30 to 60 days. And another 4 said they're interested in the next year or so.
Yeah. So in other words, we sent out a mailer, an email is what it was to our database saying, hey, we've got cash buyers. Do you want to sell your home without stress, hassle, or showings? A dozen people raised their hand saying, I might.
Yeah.
And
great.
I'm like sitting at my desk seeing this ping back in my emails. I'm like, this is incredible. Like, I literally just used iBuyers to set 12 listing appointments.
It's fantastic.
One of the 12 accepted the crappy iBuyer offer. The other 3 or 4 listed with me, and the other 5 or 6 is I'm getting strengthening a relationship, and we'll probably list their house in the next year.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Not bad.
That's something you don't need iBuyers in your market to send out that type of touch today to your database. All right, I promised we would go back and talk about benchmark 1. So congratulations, you're 5 weeks into the challenge, which means that we asked you can do whatever you want, it's your business. We asked you to start the challenge on week 2, which means that right now, for most of you, you're 4 weeks into this challenge. So the big question is, did you hit your goal, right? Because it was really clear we had a 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day goal. That was all of call 1. So for many of you, you're at the 30-day goal. Did you hit it? If you did, then high five, big clapping. If not, that's okay, right? That's why this is a 90-day challenge. Is we're still building the muscle memory, we're building the habits, we're still getting more scripts. Today we hit going to for sale by owners in person without appointment. Yep. After open houses, we hit Retbos, which is a deadly script.
Great,
deadly script. So we're on a journey. And if you're behind, that's okay. Where I would challenge you to, when we end today's call, is just go and look in the mirror. And if you're behind, look in the mirror, look at that person staring back at you, look at yourself, and ask yourself, did I do everything I can? Did I leave it on the table? Was I committed to the goal? Was I committed to script practice? Was I committed to lead generation? Was I committed to avoiding distractions? Was I committed to overcoming my fears and handling rejection? Was I committed to working those extra hours and evenings and weekends of additional lead generation that Andrea and I talked about on calls 1, 2, and 3? If you did all of those things and you're still behind on the goal, then I would just want to give you a big virtual hug, because you're amazing. And just keep up the great work. The tide will turn. You will dominate. Your day is near. And if you didn't do all of those things, then look back in the mirror and say, I will. I will. Today's the day I change. Today's the day I make a stand for my business, for my family, for my financial freedom, for my leverage. Ironically, for my balance. Ironically, for my balance. Like, it's not easy to be successful. There's a period of time we have to get out of balance to get really, really good at what we're doing, to get momentum going at what we're doing. And after that, and that period sucks because we're out of balance. But then what happens is we get so dang good at what we're doing that we can now do more business with less effort and less time.
Yep.
I mean, the 60 houses you sold last year, would you agree that was considerably easier than the 31 houses you sold the year before?
Yeah, it was about the same to sell 60 as I put into the 30 from the year before. It was about the same amount of effort.
Because your experience, your confidence, your knowledge, and your skill set's gone up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Earlier on, you were wasting time with people you shouldn't have been with. You didn't have objection handlers, and now you're much more proficient.
Absolutely.
Well, you told me last week, because you got pretty slammed with something, and you were doing minimal lead gen that week.
Yeah.
And minimal, you're still doing it. Thank you. This is real life, by the way. We lead gen every day from 9 to 11. Do you truly lead gen every single day from 9 to 11?
No.
But you're more consistent than 99.9%.
Absolutely.
Which is why you beat everybody else on my team and in the market center. So last week you're like, Greg, I had these things going on, and you were lead genning 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And what was your conversions?
It was great. I think I called 28 people and I set 7 appointments from having 28 contacts.
So every 4 people you talked to, you set a listing appointment for.
Yes.
Could you have done that a year ago?
No.
That's my point. It gets easier. So if you didn't hit your goal, stick with it. Work hard. Do the fundamentals. Do the script practice. Do the lead gen. Do not give up. And I promise you, as Amanda said, it got easier. If you didn't hit it, what else can you do differently in the next 30 days to get caught back up? Because now you've got your next 30-day goal coming, and you've got to make up the gap. We're not going to lose this challenge. We got the gap from the last 30 days. So number one, what's the first thing we can do? We have to do
lead generate.
More. Well, for some of us, we actually have to lead generate because we didn't.
Yeah, in general.
For others, it's more. It's evenings. It's weekends. Last week, our team was behind. What's the name of our challenge right now?
Leap into spring.
Because it's leap year.
Yeah, it ends on the 29th of February.
I'm still so dang excited. We have 29 days in this month. Like literally, God gave me an extra day to be with my family in this year, to generate business, to lead my team. Like I think it's amazing. So we did a challenge around it. So it's leap into
spring.
Awesome, and it ends on the 29th at midnight. Correct. Last week we were behind our challenge.
We were.
Yeah, that didn't feel good. And so what did Drew and Tyler do twice last week?
They did an evening call night.
Yeah. So some members of the team couldn't be there. Drew and Tyler are warriors, and they came in and they did an evening call night from 6 to 9 p.m.
Yep.
Dedicated. And lo and behold, because of their efforts and the rest of the teams, over the weekend, we listed so many houses, we got caught back up.
We did.
And we better continue that this week or we'll get behind again.
Exactly.
And the month is ticking by. More script practice. How long did we do? Well, how long was our script practice today?
30 minutes.
What did we cover?
FSBOs.
Do you remember the script?
Yeah.
Call me.
Ring.
Hi.
Hey, is Craig available?
This is Craig.
Hey, Craig, this is Amanda with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling because I saw you listed your house at 123 Main Street for sale by owner yesterday. Is that home still available?
Yeah, we literally just listed it as FSBO. Yeah,
totally.
Still available, no offers.
Yeah, I saw you listed it yesterday. I have to ask, our market is insanely hot. So, Craig, the reason why I'm calling is I actually specialize in helping for sale by owners net more money than they can typically do themselves by earning my commission and not charging it. If I could show you a way for me to make you more money than you can do on your own, would you be open to meeting with me for 20 to 30 minutes?
Bam. That's the script I believe was in your book in call 3. We went over that. How many times did we read that and say that together today in 30 minutes?
Like 10?
Yeah. I would say she just did a really good job. You didn't know I was going to ask you to say that.
I didn't know.
You crushed it.
Thanks.
That's the power of script practice, because you agree more script practice can help you be more proficient on the phone and land more clients.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I do.
Yeah, I hope they do. Number 3 is accountability. Is what accountability might you need in your life? Do you need a coach? Do you need to set meetings with your ALC? Do you need a 90 and 90 focus group where you hold each other accountable that you're doing the right activities? Is that accountability we talked about on call 1 or 2 where you found your group of supporters and you went to your kids? You're like, hey, this is going to suck and I might miss some soccer games. And dad's going to be working his tail off for the next 90 days. And when we hit this goal, we're going to go to Disneyland. Are we checking with our kids or did we not have that meeting in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't know. But accountability is a critical point of growth. And I'm challenging, if you're behind on your goals, I'm giving thought process of things that you might have skipped or might not be doing, which is the reason you're not hitting your goals. And of course, the simple answer is always more lead gen. And as we've been describing, is that the more you do this, the easier it gets. The easier it gets, the less you have to do it.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool. What's interfering with my lead generation? For many of you, it might be old habits. We could even cross that off and change it. What is interfering with me hitting my goal? Not even lead gen. For many of us, it's old habits. So, Amanda, when you joined our team, we had a lot of habits in place. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so what time do you come in?
8 a.m.
Perfect. The whole team comes in when?
8.
Okay, and then what happens next?
Script practice.
When's that?
8:20.
To when?
8:50.
Okay, do we do that on Mondays?
No.
Why?
Because we're catching up because we haven't seen each other for 3 days. We want to talk about offers, what happened over the weekend, how many houses did we sell, what are we listing.
There's fires. It's chaos morning.
Yeah, catch up.
It's not even a catch up day, it's a catch up hour.
Yeah.
So Mondays we just come in at 8, we catch up from 8 to 9. And what do we do 9 to 11 on Mondays?
We lead generate.
Great. What do we do Tuesdays at 8 a.m.?
We show up.
8:20.
Script practice.
8:50.
Stop script practice.
8:50 and 9.
Coffee break.
Perfect. 9 o'clock.
Script lead gen.
So when?
11 o'clock.
What do you do after 11? This is true. Like, we're not making this up. Is this 100% accurate of our team every day?
This is my life. Yeah.
Okay, what do I ask you to do after 11 o'clock?
Whatever I want.
Yeah, that's her life.
Yeah.
Go and crush it. Here's what I know. If my team and Amanda does that schedule every single day, Monday through Friday, from 11 to 5, what are you probably doing?
Attending appointments, negotiating, writing offers, showing houses.
Listing homes.
Listing homes.
Good job, Amanda. We really live this. So when I say what's interfering is, Amanda, whether maybe it's a misfortune or it was a benefit, but you joined my team. We didn't create those habits over time. Like day one was at your habits.
Yep.
So would you agree, you've been in real estate for just over 2 years. We've got nearly 300 agents sitting behind us in this office. You visited agents in other offices. Do you think most people have your type of schedule?
No, I do not.
So in other words, they have their habits.
They do.
Do you think if they incorporated these habits, most of them would do significantly more business?
I do, absolutely.
So I camped on that for a bit, and having Amanda here who's in production at the level she's at, to me is incredibly beneficial, and I hope so to all of you, is if you've got old habits that are not that type of schedule, that might be why you're not hitting your goal. What do you need to do to break those habits? Amanda had it super easy. Hey, you're no longer a hairstylist. You just got licensed. Welcome to our team. At 8:20, we do our sprint practice.
Yep. No gray. That's what it was.
Busyness. You face this. We all do. You go on a heater. You go on a lot of heaters, by the way. Meaning you're selling a ton of homes. So we call that the busyness of all the business. You're getting blown up by who?
Clients, inspectors, appraisers, other agents, people wanting to write offers on my listings, just people.
You've got great leverage. You have a listing coordinator. You have an amazing transaction coordinator, yet you're getting blown up by people.
By people.
It's called the busyness. Does that screw up your groove?
It does.
Are you perfect and always just do your lead gen 9 to 11?
No.
But you're more consistent than 99%.
Yes.
Right? You do it 4 days a week, 4.5 days a week.
Probably 4.5.
Really bad week, 3 days a week.
Yes.
Yeah, you're more consistent than most. So when you realize that this busyness is what I call snipers and are attacking you, right? And are attacking you, and you see that you're getting off point. How do you fix that?
Well, I set a standard for myself is that stuff is tabled until after 11 a.m. If it's a 911 and if it's a fire, then I leverage it off to someone else on my team that can help if it needs immediate assistance.
Yeah, we've gone through this before, and you called it building
a wall, building a barrier.
Yeah, right. You do. Like I've seen you do that. Like you get off track. We all do. You're amazing. You sold 60 homes. Yet part of selling 60 homes, even with the leverage you have, is it attacks you.
It does.
And I've seen you build that wall. You're like, man, it's been 2.5 days and I've been off track here. And like you build a wall. And even to me, like I'll come in, you're like, go away. I'm lead genning. I'm like, sweet, good job. I'll leave you alone. Yeah, you build the wall and you get back onto your focus.
I do.
It's only till 11 o'clock.
Only.
What do I ask you to do after 11?
Nothing.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we can be consistent for 2.5 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week. Right? That still leaves us, 22.5 hours a day to be crazy, Craig? I mean, I'm serious. Like we make it sound like it's so insane. And what's ironic to me is the people that the agents I coach around the country that have the most difficult time with this are selling like 14 homes. I'm so busy, and I get it. I'm not. 14 homes is incredible, but they're so busy with those 14 homes and working with C clients who aren't motivated and these different things. Like they're just off the charts busy.
Yep.
And it's like you're selling 60 homes, and still for 3.5, 4.5 days a week, you're able to time block 2 hours a day, or 2.5 hours a day, half hour of lead gen, 2 hours, a half hour script practice, 2 hours of lead gen, and look at your results.
Yeah, it's because it's 2.5 years of practice.
Would you have been successful in real estate without all this 2.5 hour stuff?
I would have done okay.
You would have been.
Yeah.
Make no mistake, you're talented. Would you have sold over 100 houses in your first 2 years in the industry?
No way.
Not even freaking close.
Not even close.
That's what this is about. Family or team might be interrupting your lead gen and the reasons you're not hitting, right? They may be distracting you. I distract my team. I go in and I love when Amanda or anybody else is like, dude, get out of here. It's lead gen time. Or even during script practice time, and I'm going down a bunny trail, like, Craig, it's script practice time, pull it together. Be aware of who might be ambushing your success. And of course, environment as well. Are you lead genning alone? If you are, and you're actually not lead genning, then find a lead gen partner. Are you lead genning with a lead gen partner, and it turns out your lead gen partner is a beautiful human being that's a flake, and they're not doing their lead gen, and they're distracting, then break up with that lead gen partner. So what environment are you in, and is it working? And if it's not working, let's seek out an environment that'll be successful. My wife and I lived in California for 2.5 years, and we moved back shortly before we hired you. And I don't know if you're a part of this or not, but we came back, and our office that we moved away from here in Portland, Oregon was a disaster. Our office being our personal space. And we put all the crap in the hallway we didn't want. We put stuff in the dumpster. The hallway stuff we said free. People took it. It was kind of fun. We painted everything. We bought new furniture. We got rid of clutter. And we got ourselves into an environment an environment that was distraction-free, an environment of productivity. And lo and behold, we started working with our team, and our productivity started going up dramatically.
Yes.
So environment is who we're associated with, and it's also the physical space we're in. And I ask because it's incredibly important. Is that environment between the people and the space, is that benefiting us hitting our listing goal, or is it distracting our listing goal? Next page, I'm gonna go to Q&A. All right, did your tracking system work? We have to track. We know if you know where we stand. Amanda, how many open houses did you do last year?
48.
Perfect. What was your listing goal or appointment goal for today?
1 appointment.
What was your listing or appointment goal yesterday?
1 appointment.
So you track every day.
I track everything.
By the way, it's only been 1 appointment the last 2 days because I've been dragging her to these webinars. Thanks again for your help. Normally it's 2 by dragging. Like, it's an honor to have you with me, and I hope that the group is. But let's be clear, I'm pulling you off of your lead gen. This could actually hurt you hitting 100 closings because you're doing this while you normally be doing lead gen. So that's what I meant by dragging. I'm making a physical choice to pull you out of lead gen, which is not very nice of me, but I need your help, and you're doing a great job. And hopefully you're getting value. We track everything. Well, we track the key metrics: appointment scheduled, listings taken, closings. We also track, as we've discussed, dials, well, most importantly, conversations.
Calls versus
That's
contacts.
why you knew that that 1 week that you weren't able to make many contacts, you were still only at 28 contacts and set 7 appointments.
Yes.
We track that because if you'd be like, Craig, I made 200 contacts and set 1 appointment, I'd be working, well, that's okay. I would high five you for the activity, but we'd be working very, very closely on objection handling.
And scripts.
Yeah. If you made 20 contacts and set 0 appointments, what would I say?
Great job for putting in the effort.
Except 20 contacts to hit your goals is going to work or not work?
It's not going to work.
Okay, you better make a lot more.
Absolutely.
Right, that's why we track our numbers. Does my schedule match my goals? We have a very clear understanding of Amanda's schedule.
Yep.
8:20 to 8:50 is
script practice.
9 to 11.
Lead gen.
After 11.
Whatever I want.
Is that enough to hit your goals? In most cases, yes. With the skill set you're at now. And if not, what do?
I lead gen more.
It's truly that simple. You're doing less open houses this year than last year.
I am.
Why?
Because I've trained showing agents on the team to convert at a high level from an open house.
Okay, so they're converting for you and bringing you back buyers.
They are.
I'd say that's 100% accurate, good answer. I'd say there's a second reason. You don't have to as much. In other words, you're working so dang hard. You have got to a point where you can chill out on Saturdays and Sundays, barring like massive businesses coming at you, and you can enjoy your husband and your 2 dogs. Right? You get to watch football.
I do.
Well, I know that's important to you. Like,
it is.
So you'll do less opens this year. You won't do 48 this year because you don't have to. Because you've earned that right based on the fact you're getting so good at your 9 to 11 lead gen. So does your schedule match your goals? Is one of the things we've been coaching with you on is a goal of balance. So that's kind of cool. We get to coach on balance and also get to coach how do we take you from 60 to 100 closings, 60 last year to 100 this year, and do it more balanced. And it all comes down to your commitment, your practice, and your skill set. And you're doing great.
Thanks.
What adjustments will I make this week to get more listings? Could you immediately incorporate rent bows tomorrow morning? Sure. How do you find the numbers? They're easy to find. They want to be found. Like, literally go on Zillow, go on Craigslist, look at print publications. You will find people renting their property themselves.
Easy.
Yeah, and you can always tell it's them renting it themselves because it doesn't have like the professional look and flair that a property management company does.
It's like an iPhone photo.
Yes. When you're seeing houses in multiple listing. No.
No.
All right.
That's okay.
Moving on. So that's something you can do. You could visit 10 Force Survivors this weekend. That's an adjustment you can make. You could add in like Drew and Tyler did on our team last week during our challenge. And you could add in an evening call session. If you're super busy, what can be outsourced? Do you need to post something on Facebook right now saying, hey, I'm slammed. Who's got 2 hours a day, 3 days a week to run errands for me? I've posted that post so many times over the years, and I always get like 10 to 20 responses. Yeah, I'd love to make 25, 30 bucks a day and run errands for you.
Sweet.
Yeah, during the daytime my kids were at school, came on.
Yeah.
Right. So is there things you're doing you could currently outsource? Weekends or evenings lead gens we've talked about. Let's do wrap up and go to Q&A. Let's refocus on what your top sources of business are. So we're starting, like, we've got old expireds, new expired, database we had exclusively, rent those, 4 sub-I owners going to their open houses, 4 sub-I owners with the amazing script that Amanda just gave us that was in call 3. New expireds, old expireds. What adjustments are needed to ensure you're hitting your goal? We've hit this to exhaustion. Maybe it's more lead gen, maybe it's more practice, maybe it's getting out of your old habits, maybe it's building that wall to avoid the busyness for just 2 hours a day. Just turn it off. Like, I don't care if there's a low appraisal. I know that sucks. This is horrible. And I'm going to turn my phone off for just 2 hours and focus on growing my business. And I'll fix that low appraisal the best I can at 11:01, not at 10:01.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right? That's a big, big thing. And it's not easy.
It's very hard.
But we care immensely about our clients.
We do.
And most of us are really good at being reactionary and jumping from good thing to good thing, bad thing to bad thing. We're good problem solvers. So that shows up as like, I can fix this. I'm going to attack this.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's not attack it till 11:01. We got 2 offers on one of our new construction listings today for Dave Williams.
Great.
Super good dude.
Awesome.
And so my lead agent, listing agent, John, on this one was like, and I'm part of it. I'm still in production. And John's like, do you want to reach out to Dave? And I'm like, no. No, my team's doing lead gen. You're supposed to be doing lead gen, John, and I'm leading a webinar. Dave can wait till 11:01. Dave's going to be super happy to know we got him 2 offers on his 8:50 home. Like, Dave's going to be fine for 2 more hours. All right, look at what sort of accountability you need based on your actions. Last 30 days, we hit that as well. Mandy, do you want to please take us to the Q&A? We really, really love your questions. I hope we have a bunch of them. We're going to load. If not, you start typing now. We know some of you are, no questions, boo. We know some of you are in a conference room with some of our other webinars are doing the market concerns. We'll have a person go up to the table and to fill those questions in for the whole group. No questions. We've covered so much content. Yeah. Well, that means they're killing it. So that's cool. Or it means that they're absorbing the information and internalizing, going deep internally of potentially what self-adjustments. Team, we care deeply about your success. We care about you hitting your goals, and we're here for you. So questions will help you get there. Interacting on the, so yes, I got it. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn's my favorite.
Thanks.
Can you review where we go to get the iBuyer offers to take to the listing appointment? Well, I don't know, Lynn, from my conversation with your leadership, I don't believe iBuyers have entered your markets. If they haven't, they will very soon. So I don't know where to go if you don't have iBuyers that have entered yet. We did not have iBuyers in Oregon 15 months ago. They did not exist. And then Open Door came in, then Zillow came in. So those are both very well known. And now there's been a plethora of little tiny iBuyer platforms I haven't even heard of. I would talk to your local leadership. They might be aware of some. But as I indicated earlier, you could just find one cash investor and have the same marketing that goes out. Like, hey, I've got a cash buyer looking to purchase homes for cash. It's a little redundant. I've got a cash buyer looking to buy homes in your area. If you want to sell with no showings, no stress, no hassle, get back in touch with me. So that's the way we can just basically use a cash buyer with the same iBuyer advertising we're doing. Lynn, the reason we hit iBuyers is because it's part of the world today. It may not be part of your world today, but it's growing rapidly city by city, state by state. And we know it's a great source of listing business. So we're giving you a pre-education on how to use it for when it gets there. But beyond that, I don't know where to find them in your market because I don't know if you have them. I do love you for asking a question, Lynn. Thank you. All right, if there's no other questions, reach out to us on Facebook. You have Andrea's email address because she emails you the workbook. And most importantly, let's all sync up and have a big high five at family reunion. Safe travels to everyone that's going, and we'll see you next week for our final call 6. Okay, thanks so much, and thank you, Lynn. Take care, everyone. Good job, Amanda.
Thanks.